the fun story really is that when I realized, Hollis, that you studied here at Cal Poly, I
Yeah.
felt like it was totally like meant to be. I was like, oh my gosh,
And I was in the school of nutrition.
this is so funny. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you were here where I'm working right now. So in a certain
Yeah.
way, we are like collected across the miles.
100%. And oh, I miss that area so much. I mean, like running, I used to run Avila all the time. That bike path out to the beach.
Oh
And then
yeah.
I used to run Madonna Mountain all the time, and then like going back like with my team. So I was on Polly's triathlon team, and we did a lot of long runs out into the hills, beyond campus. And it was such a beautiful place. Or like long rides, we'd ride down to like Halcyon or, out east of us. And we'd have our Pelotons, like our girl Peloton and our guy Peloton. And then our coach would just drive back and forth between them. But it was so nice to be out there because we didn't have traffic, right? It was just like us on the road, maybe a random car or a farm truck or something. I do not ride my bike here in New York City.
No, maybe just indoors, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So we have Jared, our Prince, Jean, Berkey Studio, Marna,
Hi.
Jardy, 24K, Giselle. I'm kind of like reading. Hello. So happy that you're here. And I'm really excited because if you do know Hollis, there's lots of energy involved. So if this is your lunch break, you're going to get a little energy booster for the rest of the day. If this is your afternoon break, even better, right? So my first question is, what about those shoes? I have to get them.
Let me show you.
Oh, please.
The
Lululemon
shoes, right? I hope Jared's still on. He's been hounding
What else
me.
am I talking about?
Yeah. So this is the best part.
It's so cute.
I know, right? So this is obviously the all white version. This is so they created a couple of different styles. So this is the run shoe that they came out with first, and super light. It fits like a glove. I especially love the heel cup, and really nice, like soft tongue and laces that stayed tied. Like nothing is worse than your shoelace untying when you're running.
It's like a workout in itself, right? To stop.
Yeah, exactly. And then they also created two like hybrid shoes that you could kind of run in but train in. So think like something like a Barry's boot camp or something. And that they have two different size ankle heights. So one is like the run shoe, which is like the low, and then the mid, and it looks a little bit more like a boot. It's awesome. And then they have the third shoe is like walking around the town kind of shoe.
Awesome.
And then the fourth is a slide. So it's like a thicker band, that you just slide into like post workout. Those are awesome. But the running shoes will be available on March 22nd. And I'm not sure when the train and the walking and the slide will become available. So
maybe for Mother's Day, we need them all, right?
Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. Exactly. But it's gonna, like, I'm so excited. So I'll announce it here. That's fine. I've been waiting to announce about these. We've been calling them the hard socks, but also because I'm running. Oh, hi Bethany! Oh my gosh, and Hackstow's on too. Amazing. But I'm going to be running the Speed Project for Lululemon later this month. And there are six Lululemon Run ambassadors who will be running from Santa Monica Pier through the desert to Las Vegas.
Oh my God.
And we'll be testing out the shoes.
Wow, you need multiple pairs for that long of a run.
Yes, we do. Yeah, definitely.
Just wear them matching to your scrunchie.
Oh my gosh.
The color.
Yes, exactly. I will need like 18 million pairs of shoes, but yes, I like where you're going with that. 100%.
Love it. So we have a few questions, and then of course I'm reading through the comments. Yeah. So there's a lady that was really excited about the shoes. She said her daughter works at Lululemon. Rubio Farm 77, Rubio Fam, sorry.
Yeah, they're mere members.
I'm so excited that she gets a pair of new shoes. So yay for your daughter. And she's probably pick you some out too. And
Yeah.
then again, you can put your questions down there in the comments and we will be happy to answer those. So let's maybe kind of kick this off here. The first question is, Hollis, what is your superpower? We're all wondering, right?
I so appreciate that question. This is funny. I would say tenacity.
Okay.
My dad will say stubbornness.
I love that.
Once I set my mind to something, I just like bulldoze towards it. And that can be a superpower. It's gotten me through many difficult situations. It's hindered me at times as well, I'll be honest, but you know, that is life, and we learn and become more aware of how to use that superpower. And then when we kind of need to like relax a little bit, but I think that it's something that I have continued to train throughout the years, especially as an endurance athlete. You have to have the tenacity to push through the lows, because no matter how trained you are, you're going to have lows. And so you just push through knowing that there's going to be a high on the other side. And a lot of that training transferred to my professional life. So as a competitive triathlete in college, you know, it was train, study, train, study, train, study. Somewhere in there, I slept and ate, not sure when. And then when I joined the professional world, I used to be in real estate development and project management. And, you know, it's like I had the experience of being on the bike for 100 miles. I had the experience of running, you know, 20 miles. And I knew I could do that. So like whatever problem or task I was dealing with at work that was hard, it was nowhere as hard as what I'd been through. And that helped me continue like with the task at hand. I don't know if that answers your question, or that was like a really long answer.
Yeah, it's perfect, because in a certain way, the way that your character is built really kind of transitions over to multiple parts. And sometimes I tell my students too that, you know, you choose your own pain. So nothing ever really comes without being kind of having the grit and the perseverance to push through. So if you want to be super fit, it's not going to be always easy. So you got to have that tenacity. So I love your response there.
Thank you.
So let's see whether we have somebody just said you will need this for the speed project. So A1 Weil said great superpower for the speed project. And we have a few other people that are joining in. Hello there, Katie and Kylie and Brookie and Baker.
Yeah.
Amazing. So let's maybe kind of go to the second question. What's been your greatest challenge? And why? Challenges in our life, right?
There have been so many.
Okay.
Honestly, I've been asked this question often before. I think it's a great question. And the answer that I most commonly give, and the reason why I give this, is because it's had the biggest, longest lasting impact on my life. And that was fighting for my divorce. I was in a very unhealthy marriage in my 30s, and I had to fight really hard to establish my independence once again. And that was all done here in New York City, and to recreate myself. I lost myself in that relationship. Unfortunately, it was a very abusive relationship, and I did everything that I could to survive. So when I got out of that, I was a shell of a human. And to be single and alone on the East Coast in New York City to boot gave me a lot of freedom to learn who I truly am and when I can be my most happiest, truest self. And so the past 6 years has been that journey. And I am incredibly thankful for everything that I have learned along the way. And I truly love my life now and love who I am now. And I don't think I would have this high level of appreciation if I did not have that, unfortunately. I would love to have not had that, but but it's part of my life. It's part of who I am. It's part of my foundation, and it helps hold me at true north. And not only did I survive, but I feel like I'm thriving. So I think that would probably be the biggest challenge.
It's very inspiring because certainly we all have challenges in life. Nobody just ever just kind of scoots through it, and it might appear that way because sometimes people just see the end result of it, which is you now being super happy and strong. But the way to get there, the multiple years of struggling and pushing through, is what they maybe don't see. So I really appreciate your honesty in sharing that, because it might inspire somebody that's maybe at the beginning of that journey to keep going. Yeah, because they know there is a light at the end of this tunnel that's going to come, you know.
Definitely. And also, like, I think that it's important not to feel trapped. I mean, I was 40 when I got divorced, right? So I was recreating a whole new life at 40. And I would hate for somebody to think I'm too old. I don't have any options. I can't make that change. I would say you're never too old for that. You know, it's you never know how long your life is going to be, and it's worth the step, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, your ultimate happiness is really, it will make you a better person for others.
Yes.
You know, like make your take care of yourself and then take care of others, because you took care of yourself, you're going to be an even better human being, right?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Love this.
Hi,
Jen. Jen saying hello there. Transparency. That's so kind of you.
Thank you. And that's something that I've had to learn as well. Like I kept a lot of what I was enduring private. Not even my family had any idea. And I think the hardest part was sharing that with them. Right. Also, I went through 3 years of in vitro fertilization, and it wasn't really talked about. My ex-husband didn't want to even talk about it. He didn't want people to know, right? Because he saw it like as a failure. And and I think it's incredibly important to talk about, because that was an incredibly challenging part of my life as well, because it was the first time that I had really experience adversity, because I'm such a goal-oriented focused person, right? This is my goal. This is how I'm going to get there. And I'm going to do steps A, B, C, and I'm going to achieve D. And that was not happening. I was like, what am I doing wrong, right?
I know.
And
females do that. We are like, oh, it's me, right?
Yeah. 100%. I'm the broken one, right? And now I thank my lucky stars that it did not come to fruition, because my guardian angels, I make her work so hard, but she knew that there was a better plan for me. So that's I think like a forever sigh of relief. Yeah.
For goodness sake, Amanda says being vulnerable takes such strength.
Thanks, girl.
And Wellness 14 says, love you, Hollis. And Schumann Jen said transparency. So I really appreciate it. And of course, you know, this is something truly honest being about it and thinking about it. That we sometimes, as females, we seek the blame in ourselves, right? So where we are like, something must be wrong. Schumann Jen said, Hollis, you inspire me so much. Life has other plans for you. You helped me so much over the last couple of months.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
And that's why I love my job. I feel like I have the best job in the world.
Oh, this is so nice. And it's good. It's good to hear from others how you're changing their lives.
This is such a gift. Thank you so much. You're all gonna make me cry. I was actually pre-med at Poly. So I went to school with pre-med. And then I realized that I wanted to be on the other side. So rather than fixing people, quote unquote, fixing people, I wanted to be preventative. And so that's why I really persevered the nutrition aspect and fitness. So,
Let's talk maybe a little bit, and that might also be inspiring to all the other females or males that are maybe joining in here today. Who are your influencers or people that have supported you over the years? Who has been your biggest influencers?
Well, I wish you could all meet my grandmother. She is unfortunately no longer with us.
Okay.
But
she's probably watching from somewhere.
Yeah, without a doubt. My mom's mom, Frances, but we all called her Gram Fran. For the longest time, I thought that was her name, and then I realized it was shortened from Grandma Fran to Gram Fran. You know, she was an incredibly intelligent, incredibly strong, driven individual who didn't take SHIT. I don't know if I can swear on here.
Good. So she's just, you got that from her.
Yeah, 100%. But she always remained graceful and was very respectful. And, you know, I think that her poise was unshakable, and I really admired that. And plus she was just cool. Like, she was just like a super cool, rad, independent grandma. And granted, you know, my grandpa, who I was also equally close with, was amazing, you know, but she had her own independent life as well, which was very rare in the 40s and 50s, you know, but she always told me, like, have your own finances, have your own checking account, make sure that you can support yourself. And, you know, like, those are really important lessons that we need to be reminded of, because you never know. You know, you never know. So yeah, she was always there. And then I just feel really fortunate that I have an amazing mother, of course, who just continued to share that love and share that support. My parents are, I always say, very laissez-faire. They let me kind of just run around and do whatever. And then if I messed up, I'd have to come back and be like, so I messed up.
Good failure, figure out, learning lesson,
you know, some way to work it out. And then here in New York City, I am blessed with an amazing, absolutely amazing group of female friends. And they're all a force to be reckoned with in their own way. And when we come together, it's just magic. And I think that's one of the things that I love most about being here in New York City, because I feel like I have this, like, this network, you know, and that's really powerful. And it feels really good to have them here in my life, in the city, but just in my life.
Support is so important, and that's definitely something that I see in some of the comments here. So Jen said, my husband and I married 12 years ago, and we still do our finances separately.
Yeah.
So to have that support from other strong women or male friends, and kind of creating some shoulder you can lean on, somebody you can reach out to, and getting maybe their feedback about what, you know, where they are, or reaching out to them and checking in with them. So let's see whether we have any questions. You can put it in the comments down there.
Oh, and it could be amazing.
It could be a question directly for Hollis with regard to what she has planned in the future, about those cute shoes she was showing us earlier.
Yes, to survive the speed project would be goal number 1. And then Lance and I are running the Leadville 100 in August.
Oh, wow.
So that's the 100-mile trail race in Colorado. Wow. And so in between now and then, I'll be doing a lot of running. And then maybe some more running with a side of running. And so we'll be doing a lot of, like, 50Ks and 50 milers around New York City that we can drive to for weekends. So don't worry, I'm not going to worry. I'm still going to be on Mir. Still going to be teaching my classes. And, you know, being really strategic with my schedule as far as recovery days, strength days, running days, and then just making sure that I am sleeping enough and eating enough.
So maybe, and of course, you know, I know that nutrition is a really important aspect. We talked about superpower earlier. What's your go-to workout snack? I get that question a lot. So what is your secret there?
It depends upon the workout that I'm doing. It really does. So thank you, Laura. So whew, like if I'm strength training, I need fuel. Like I can feel a difference when I'm on the floor. If I have not eaten enough, I just don't have the ability to lift like what I want to lift. I can run on, 6 miles or so on an empty stomach and feel fine. Maybe not like an easy run, and I'm working on my long run nutrition. That's been something I've struggled with, just finding things that settle with my stomach. GI issues can be a little bit challenging on longer runs. I ate a lot of bananas. I love fruit. So like before a run or before a workout, usually some sort of banana is included, some sort of like nut butter of some sort.
Awesome.
I live off of like daily harvest smoothies and Promix pea protein powder. So like my smoothie usually includes protein powder, bee pollen, green powder from Vibrant Health, nut butter. I throw in additional strawberries for additional vitamin C and just kind of like boost the base that Daily Harvest provides. And that way I know that I started my day with at least like 35 to 40 grams of protein. Granted, it's vegan, but still protein, and fruits and vegetables. So
awesome. I start my day with a smoothie too. And of course, you are born in California, so the strawberries have to go in there, right? Like
yes.
Prerequisite.
Exactly.
Those California I love it. That sounds super simple. Any questions for Hollis? I'm kind of like looking through the comments. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
That's a really good question. I think it depends upon the individual. So it works really well for some people. If you've ever had disordered eating, I would say don't do it. But if you haven't experienced any sort of disordered eating, you can always try it. The whole idea is to limit, the number of calories that you're consuming over that day or perhaps over that week. And that's why most people do it. Some people say that it gives them more energy. It just depends on the individual, and if you try it consistently for 3 or 4 or 5 days and it works really well for you, then great, maybe that works for you. But remembering that every body is so distinctly different, right? And what works for one individual is not going to work necessarily for another individual. And so that's why I'm always really passionate to say, like, you have to be your own scientist and do your own studies and try it out, right? Like, there's no harm in trying something out to see if it gives you the results that you want. And if you find that it works with your lifestyle, great. That's awesome. And if it doesn't work, or if you feel forced, or if you feel uncomfortable, if you're like, oh, I have to do that, don't do it. Why? Like, because it's like you want healthy lifestyle choices to become part of your life. And otherwise it just becomes a burden. And then you don't like, why take on another burden? There's enough that we all have to deal with.
Yeah. And wellness is really also about, as the word says, feeling well. So you don't need to feel like it's a chore. It needs to be something that gives you that joy and that happiness. Right. To feel well. It's part of working out is that happiness that you get afterwards if you don't
those
enjoy
endorphins
your
are
workout.
Amazing. Exactly. Amanda asked what I listen to when I run. Okay. When I'm running slow, easy miles, most of my running, like 80% of my running is zone 2, very slow, very easy miles. I wear a heart rate monitor. I do everything heart rate based because I'm following very specific training programs. So right now it's to build mitochondria. So I'm like building this really strong foundation that I can then utilize in my ultras. So a lot of slower music. If I listen to fast music, then I'm tempted to run fast, and that defeats the whole entire purpose of the run. And I love podcasts. So I listen to a lot of podcasts. And then I listen to audiobooks. And right now I just started the Will Smith autobiography.
It's so good. I just read it.
It's so good. And it's 16 hours. So it's like, that will get me through like a good chunk of training. And I only listen to it on long run days. So like this Saturday, I have to run 14 miles, and then Sunday No, I run 16 this Saturday and 8 this Sunday. So I know that I'm gonna, like, I save it for the weekend so I can like have something to look forward to when I'm on those longer distances. If I'm doing speed, oh, you better believe it's like hard hitting EDM, super aggressive. I also love like heavy metal. So sometimes it's Metallica, sometimes it's Tool, anything to get me like ramped up and in the mood to turn my legs over quickly and push through. Cause like, those are hard. I mean, it's uncomfortable. It feels horrible. I want to die. And you just got to do it. So the music helps.
Putting your mind into it. So I saw this earlier. How do you stay so motivated?
Motivation ebbs and flows. I am focused on consistency. I am a old school planner person, so I'll show you.
Oh,
like,
please fill us in.
Like I keep like a day planner, right? Like this. And this actually hasn't been color coded yet, but I always write in my work schedule. Then I write in my other obligations, like my personal clients, and those usually get highlighted one color. Then I schedule in my workouts because I'm very specific, once again, with my workouts, right? I even write in rest days, and those are all highlighted in different colors. And then when I've done those things that are here, I actually physically draw a line through or check it off. That sense of satisfaction is excellent motivation for me. I thrive off of that. And so that works really well for me. I am someone who does well with a regimen, and this helps me stay regimented, and it helps keep me calm. If my world gets a little thrown off and I feel a little like unsure of where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do, it gives me a little bit of anxiety. So I found that this really helps kind of anchor me down a lot. And it's also my job. Like I want to, like when I toe the line of a race, I want to step up to that race knowing that I've done all that I could do to prepare. And I know the feeling from experience of stepping up to the line, going, oh shit, I did not do the training I needed to do, right? And then you're in the race and you're like, yeah, I should have been better about this, or maybe I shouldn't have gone out to that party, or maybe like, and you kind of learn. And then that helps also maintain the consistency, just because I've had those non-consistent experiences, shall we say. But I've always been someone to follow a planner. Yeah. I mean, that started in, like, honestly, elementary school, like fifth grade, sixth grade, junior high, all the way through. Like, I can't get rid of it.
And I love that it's a paper planner, so you have it right in front of your eyes.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I think I remember things better when I write it out than I can see it. Like I still, Sunday evening is when I do my like Google Calendar, desk calendar matchup to make sure that it's all in sync. I do like the little reminders. Hey, Hollis, 30 minutes, that's great. But otherwise, yeah, I use my planner.
Awesome. So let's make it the last question, because we don't want to keep her too long. So let's see.
Oh no, I'm here all day, girl. You got me.
So I saw a question earlier about healthy eating doesn't seem easy. So Jen asked any type of motivation to find healthy foods more accessible, or how can we make it easy?
Control what you can control. So you control what comes into your house. And so I think how you stock your cabinets, how you stock your fridge is part of setting yourself up for success. And then if you have prepped foods, whether it's like cut up vegetables or cut up carrots, have those front and center in a glass container in your fridge so that you see them, so that it's easy to grab. Also, I think having like those quick, easy things like in the freezer is really helpful, or in the cupboard is really helpful. And then I think that mindset's a big part of it as well. A little shift of verbiage takes practice, but I think it can be incredibly powerful. So rather than, man, I can't eat, and I never like to use that. I try to grow out of that, right? Like, I can't eat that chocolate cake. Instead say, I'm choosing to eat half of the chocolate cake, or I'm choosing to eat a bowl of raspberries instead of the chocolate cake. So you're empowering yourself. So I always believe in empowering somebody to make like a decision for themselves, and try to take out the restriction, try to take out the can't. And I hate to label food as good or bad. Food is food. Food is fuel. And so thinking about how you can kind of change the words that you use because it impacts you, but also those around you. So those around us, especially little people, are sponges, right? And they hear a lot of our self-talk. And so sometimes it's like a little check-in, like, would I ever say that to a friend? Would I ever say that to a family member? You know, and just kind of thinking about who's listening.
Yeah, and certainly whenever you say, oh, I can't eat that, your mind has a lot of power about this too. So I always say, whenever you want to change your lifestyle, think about adding.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Adding.
And crowding, I think I love that, because I always say that too. It's like, you want to crowd those things out. Right?
Yes.
Like you fill in with those nutritious things, like the apple or the pear or the apricots, or, once again, see, I love fruit. I can eat fruit. I'm basically a monkey. So then like you eat so much of that, you don't want the rest, right? You know, like, I think that's a really excellent point. Yeah. That idea of crowding it out. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you more, and of course, fruit has that magic power to where you just feel healthier, just like a workout. It's all of a sudden, like, I know when I got married, my husband at the beginning really had to change his nutrition. And he said all these salads, and then all of a sudden he said, I feel better. And I said, oh, all these salads after all, right?
Have you read what is it, Dr. B's book?
I probably did. I think the gut solution or something like that, right?
No, it's Fiber Fueled.
Oh, okay.
Fiber Fueled by Dr. B. For all you on here, I can't recommend that book enough. It's amazing. But I think it's like important to know that when you are starting to shift your diet, like adding more fiber, like eating more salads, or adding more beans, or adding more vegetables, a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't agree with me, right? But
oh yeah,
just like you train your body, right? You can't just walk into the gym and pick up a 500-pound dumbbell. You have to work your way up to it. You have to train your gut microbe to be able to digest those nutrients, because you have the microbes in your gut based upon the food that you eat. So if you don't eat fruits and vegetables, you don't have the microbes. So then when you eat it, it doesn't break down as quickly, and then you get the fermentation and you get gassy, right? And you're like, oh, I get really gassy. So introduce new foods, especially really fibrous foods, cauliflower, beans, broccoli, cabbage, right? Introduce just little bits sparingly and start to build up your gut microbe. Then you can start to add in a little bit more, and then you can start to add in a little bit more, and then that's when you really start to crowd out those unhealthy foods, right? And a lot of research has been done, and I'm sure you know this as well, that the gut microbe influences cravings. So let's say you're like, oh, I have the worst chocolate craving, because your microbes are like, give me chocolate, give me chocolate, give me chocolate. Right? So then we eat it and we get I got what I wanted. So you just kind of have to like nudge them out a little bit.
I totally agree, because your body is what you eat, and if that's just the diet that you have, it's going to be expecting that. So it's also your habits, right? So breaking down the habits. And I know we talked about we always message each other about books. So one of my really favorite books is the Atomic Habit book, right? Where you really breaking it down into making these micro little changes, maybe adding more fruit slowly, and over time it will become part of your habits.
Yep.
Any questions? I'm scrolling through the comments here. So meal preparation is helpful. I plan to, so we got lots of planners here.
Love it.
That I kind of thinking about this. And clearly this is also something that, just like with eating and starting slowly to change your diet, it's maybe also with the workouts, because I have sometimes people that say, I'm going to come here every day to your classes because I'm a fitness instructor. And I tell them, I don't know that you should come every day. Let's maybe take some rest days. They're really important for you. Would maybe just start with 1 or 2 times per week, and then you can take some walks, and then, you know, you actually make it a habit instead of setting yourself up for failure where you can't come every day.
100%. I think that's very important to remind people of as well. And also when people are trying to make major shifts, it's really challenging to change a lot of things all at once. So just pick that one thing, focus on that, and like you said, make that habitual, and then you can add in another one, and then you can you know, add in another one, or whatever it may be. But it's important to also look at like your whole day, like how much do you move your whole day? You know.
And I mean, just kind of like seeing also, we all have good days where things fall in place easier, and maybe you can work out, and then on the next day we'll just pick it back up and don't think, oh, I failed because I didn't work out. It's all right. We just all have that, where it was maybe a challenge to get things done.
100%.
Any questions?
I was just gonna say, today, for example, my day got out of hand. The schedule got totally shifted, and I didn't get my 4 miles in. It's okay. I'm not gonna die.
No, you look quite happy.
Thank you. Yeah, and I know that my next run is going to be even stronger because my body's going to be even more rested, and that's what makes me excited. I know my legs are going to feel really good when I have to take on those 16 miles on Saturday morning. So I'm like, oh, it's going to be nice, because Friday's always a rest day. So I always take that off. Yeah.
Love it. And of course you have that amazing Will Smith book to listen to.
I do.
Any last minute questions? Any thoughts on cravings? MS Con. How to not give in, or do you? Cravings.
I think I've gotten much better about it. I think understanding why I'm having a craving. Usually if I'm craving something crunchy, it's usually because I'm anxious. If I'm craving something sweet and like pudding-y, softy, if you will, that's not really a word, but you get it, then I know it's like I need like a hug, or I need some love. So like understanding what I really need, and if I'm feeling hungry, I'm like, gosh, I just ate, but I'm feeling hungry, I'll start with some water, because usually I'm thirsty because I'm always sweating, and so I know I'm like, oh, I'm feeling a little dehydrated. But if you've kind of checked in and you're hydrated, you feel like you're really good, go ahead and have a little bit. Like, there's no harm in that, you know. Give yourself a little love, and like appreciate the moment and feel really good about it.
So that being present is really important. So in my research, I always really emphasize that the connection between your mind and your gut, because clearly, and it sometimes helps even if it's individually wrapped, and along the joy about unwrapping it and how it's easy. You put it in your mouth and then really savoring it, and maybe eating it with your friends. So you're getting that social stimulation and this stimulation of your body, enjoying it, and not just mindless snacking. So
exactly, it's making it more of a ritual.
But thank you so much. We have lots of people that are saying thank you.
And, thank you.
This has been really, really amazing. So if you're just joining in, don't worry at all. I'm going to post this so you can watch this whole event again. And then, of course, send Hollis any questions. Let me know if you have any questions. We really appreciated her time here, because I know you're super busy. And we hope that you have a wonderful run on the weekend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, and check in. Lance and I are going to be on GMA Saturday morning around 8:30, 8:45. So make sure you find us.
I love it. There is a little sneak already right there. And
Yeah.
of course, we are looking forward to it. And a lot of people said this has been so inspiring and so great. And I really appreciate that time, Hollis. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. It's been so much fun.
Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.